what we'll go on with now is the sauce. What I'm going to demonstrate and make here is the base sauce. It's a base sauce, the base sauce that you can use for any meat pie. Now, in saying that, after I've made this pie, you can add onion to the pie for extra flavour. You can slice tomato and put sliced tomato on top of the sauce. You can add cheese. So again, I'm going to emphasise this is a base sauce. There's not a lot of ingredients in this. It's beef, nutmeg, pepper, salt and water. And it's thickened with a whitewash, which basically is flour and water mixed together into a paste. So don't be surprised at how basic this sauce is. It's a basic sauce and we're going to make it. Cheers. We need a kilo of beef, ground beef or Southern Hemisphere minced beef. So ground beef, minced beef. Was that minced beef and ground beef? Whatever. Again, set your scales, zero them off. Mine are zeroed off at whoopee. 1 kilo. Do you see that? 1 kilo of ground beef. So I'm going to whack that in my pot. What I want now is I want a kilo or 1 litre of water. I'm going to use hot water because all I want to do is cook this off. So I just want to get the cooking process going. So I'm just going to use hot water, yeah? Straight from the tap. That's there. 1 kilo equals 1,000 mils of water. So we put a kilo of minced beef or ground beef in our pot and we put a kilo of hot water in our pot. We've got our pot on. Yeah. Because we're using local ingredients, we've got this Royco, rasa sapi, yeah, rasa sapi, the beef flavoured, yeah. What we want is we want to put 60 grams in there. So this is a 100 gram pack, so you can use the scales again, yeah. Measures up at 100, sprinkle in what you think is 60, you know, come back, subtract. If you've got 40, you're doing okay, that's 50. Okay, I want 4 grams of pepper, yeah. Lara hitam, yeah? So realistic, I'll just give it a bit of a sprinkle, yeah? I want salt. I don't want salt. That's it, I don't want salt. There's enough salt in the Royco, so we don't put the salt in, yeah? Put the salt over here. What we do want is we want nutmeg. Now nutmeg, that is the secret to this dish. That is, the nutmeg is what gives this meat dish the body. Without the nutmeg, you won't get the body. So that is the base secret to this meat sauce. So what we're going to use is nutmeg. Nutmeg. Parla nutmeg. So I'm going to grind mine up. So basically, I'm just going to scrape this off into little bits here, yeah? And put it into my grinder. You don't have to do this. You can use that powdered stuff that's already pre-ground. But in saying that, the fresh, like all fresh bumbu spices, you can't beat the fresh, yeah? Fresh have a richer flavour, a smoother flavour, more body. For Bala, that's about it on that one. That's Pala. That's Pala after I've sliced through it, yeah? That's nutmeg, yeah? Nutmeg, Pala. So I'm just going to grind that down. That'll do it. Yeah, again, If you're going to use the pre-ground nutmeg, then you'll have to use a little bit more. What I base my recipe on is the fresh parlour nutmeg, yeah? So you can see what I've got there. I'm not going to use all that, but again, just sprinkle some in, yeah? That'll be enough for that recipe. I've got about half. I used about half what I chopped off. So, yeah, okay. I sliced up about 3/4 of one of these nuts, and I've ground it down, and I've used probably 1/4 of that nut, yeah? Bring that to the boil, let it simmer. We're just going to let that simmer away, probably 30 minutes. What we're looking at here, this is a simmer. So we're just going to let that go, that simmer. We don't want much more of a boil than that, and we'll let that do that for about 30 minutes. Then what we're going to do, we're going to put a whitewash together, and a whitewash is basically plain flour and water, and we're going to turn that into a paste, and then we're going to thicken this up with that, and it's going to be a double sauce consistency. And that's it. It's a really basic sauce. So where we're up to now is we're going to make the whitewash. The whitewash is plain flour and water mixed together into a paste. That's going to be our thickening agent. You don't have to be too accurate with these measurements. I've just got 200 grams of flour there, and I'm going to put that in. Of course, everyone has one of these at home. I'm going to whisk in, 400 to 500 mils of water, so to make my paste. Yeah, okay. My whip is a little bit bigger than the average whip. I wouldn't expect you to have a whip this big at your house. But it doesn't matter how big your whip is, as long as you can whip those lumps out. So that's my whip, my whisk. And that's it. All I've done is I've done that couple of 100 grams of flour and about 350 to 400 mils of water, and I whisk that together into a bit of a saucy consistency, like a gravy consistency. Make sure there's no lumps in it. That's going to be my thickening agent, yeah? I'll take that over to my ground beef stock, nutmeg, pepper, salt dish. I whisked in a bit of that. What I need to do is I need to bring it back to the boil. I need to let it thicken up. So I'll probably whisk in probably 75% of that whitewash. So it's just bring it back to the boil, see how it thickens up. And it's what they call correct the consistency. I want a thick gravy. This has to sit in the pies, so it's probably double what you would usually use for a Sunday night gravy. Consistency. Out of that 200 grams of flour and that 400 mils of water, which I used to make that whitewash, I've used the whole lot, yeah? And you can see that, see how that's thickening up? That's what we want, yeah? This is like a double gravy, yeah? If you can have a look down in here, you can see that? That's thickening up like a double gravy, yeah? See how it's sort of blowing out like those little craters are coming out? That's like a double gravy. That's what we want. That's our meat sauce. That's pretty much done. What we want to do, we'll let that simmer on low for another 5 minutes, and just to let that flour cook out. And like everything when we're cooking, we check the taste, the rasa. We're not going to put this in pastry if we're not happy with the flavour, yeah? That's what we want. That's the flavour we're after. The nutmeg's not overpowering, but it has body. I'm pretty happy with that. I'm going to turn that off now. I'm just going to let that sit. I'm going to let it cool down. I'm going to put it into another tray. I want it cool when I stick it into my pie bases.